edge and defensive tackle fits for the Browns based on the combine. Who did you like? What did you think? You mentioned Cansey probably not the fit just based on being undersized.
He's certainly still a possibility, and he's certainly in there. But look, as everybody says, and if we all notice, we see like so many prospects get talked about, and Cleveland Browns just don't draft guys if they're, if you're older than 22 years old, they will not spend a draft choice on you. That is what we have known. It's factual information that we have through 3 years of players that they've drafted. So that's difficult stuff to look at. We'll go D tackle first here because I think the edge spot is where it can get really fun and really different from what we've seen the Browns do in years past. Right off the bat, obviously Jalen Carter, Breeze from Clemson, and a couple other guys. They're just not going to be available. When the Browns possibly select at 42. You get to a slew of names, and look, Cansey is in there. But then you go against, and you look at players like Keanu Burton. Keanu Burton excelled in Wisconsin, had a great Senior Bowl, tested well, high school wrestling background, and he carries more than 310 pounds on his body. For the Browns, it would be the biggest defensive tackle they've drafted to this point, and I do believe they think and feel more bulk hopefully will lead to, less pushing around for these guys. You get to another guy, Mazie Smith out of Michigan, certainly has a little bit of a legal issue that, he's dealing with. Did not work out at the combine, did his bench press reps, 32 bench press reps. So, you got a big guy there as well. In the middle, the other one would be Gervon Dexter from Florida, 6'6", 310 pounds. Again, he would be the biggest defensive tackle that they have drafted to this point. Tested well. Seems to be like a guy who's rising and ascending as a player. The edge position, and this is where even if the Browns can't necessarily get an established veteran in free agency, the Browns in the infancy of this organization, and certainly before. They always wanted to put a really technically sound defensive end opposite Myles Garrett. But as the years have gone on, everybody talks about Myles Garrett and how well he grades out as a player. It's not just as a pass rusher. It's also as a run defender. So Alex Wright, wasn't talked about a ton, but closed out, the year well for this team, showed to play technically sound as a run defender. He's a guy that once you get to nickel and dime, you can maybe kick inside. Now the Browns can get an opportunity here to put a guy on the field who either is just as athletic as Myles Garrett or even more athletic. Nolan Smith, I can't guarantee he's going to go in the first round yet, 238 pounds at a defensive end position. And I don't know how much more weight you can put on him. The kid was physically yoked to the max. But if you can get a guy on the field who was 2/10 of a second faster in the 40 than Myles Garrett, now, for a guy like Jim Schwartz, who wants his defensive line play to set the tone, certainly opens up eyes. B.J. Ojulari is another one. He only did the jumps, but his jumps look, and correlate to a guy who would have a really solid 40 time and a 40 time faster than Myles Garrett. Derek Hall out of Auburn. This is a guy, my second daughter was born 4 months premature. Derek Hall is 6'3", 255 pounds, and was born 4 months premature. Normally, micro preemies do not grow to a size like that. But, here was a guy, business major, down in Alabama, really, really smart player. And the thing is, he gives a ton of effort. There is no such play as, there's no such thing with Derek Hall as the play is over because it's behind me. There's numerous times on film he's assisting in a tackle down the field. He is chasing a ball carrier down the field, ran in the 4.5s. It's a really appealing option for the Browns if they're looking to possibly go edge at 42, that you could get somebody on the field who is actually a better athlete and a faster player than Myles Garrett. And if you want to get after the quarterback and you want more success getting after the quarterback, in my opinion, that is a perfect avenue to do it.
Yeah, meet at the quarterback. Have two guys that can get around the edge, and that forces, your wide nines, you're lining them up wider to get after it too.
Oh, and look, that's the other thing that nobody wants to think about is the wide nine. With the wide nine, you're basically trying to get a smaller player on an island, and just saying, look, I don't care how big you are. I have the extra space I need, and I am going to win these matchups more often than I am not. And then when you get to the point where maybe you can start putting better pass rushers in the interior, and guess what? Once the guy in the wide nine starts taking the tackle to school, now you have to contribute more help outside, which creates more one-on-one, easier winnable opportunities for you guys in the middle.